if they don't like you now, as you are, right here, right now, in this moment, they won't really like you then. Now, I know a lot of us have it in our head that when we have somebody we are, let's say, romantically interested in, right? Somebody we got a crush on, somebody we see with infatuation, somebody we desire to be with. We believe that it is simply our job to convince that individual that we are the person for them. And that's what we got it twisted. Now, I don't remember when this really clicked for me, but somehow it clicked at a very young age that if somebody did not see interest in me or find me appealing in the moment that I approached them, then there was nothing that was going to truly make them desire me. Now, I could get a whole bunch of money, I could get accolades, I could get things on top of things, I could build up the muscle, whatever it was. But at the end of the day, they were only going to then be attracted to the thing that I developed or the thing that I purchased, the thing that I have acquired, right? That's what that's about. And many of us, for some odd reason, we feel this need to impress others or to put an impression onto somebody else, to prove ourselves to those who do not see our intrinsic value. Now, this is where most of us suffer when it comes to trying to build relationships or trying to go out into the dating space, etc. This is where a majority of the suffering comes from. When somebody ghosts you, that is a response. Like I think it was my brother who said this quote, or somebody within my inner circle said this. And then I heard it again within the same week. And it was, a non-response is a response. When somebody does not respond to a message, that is them responding to that message. They're letting you know in that very moment in time that they're not interested. And that's okay. And again, many of us have this shame or guilt that we're dealing with. Many of us have this unworthiness aspect of ourselves that is so deeply embedded that keeps us in this perpetual cycle of looking for other people's validation in order for us to feel even worthy of the simplest things in life. But I promise you, if you do not break that and instead start to see those who value you, you are going to suffer. Even if you get in a relationship with that person you think is a perfect person, the person that you're desiring and admiring with everything within you, even if you do end up in a relationship with them, you are going to be miserable because you will never feel a true desire from that individual, right? If somebody does not value you as you are for who you are, they're only going to value the thing that you bring to the table, right? Proverbially. So, how do we fix and how do we solve this? Well, it's pretty simple and it's also complex on another side. The reason it's complex is because it has to do with our own belief system. What we believe about ourselves is the reason why we get into different relationship dynamics in the first place. So that's the place that we have to begin. How do we actually see ourselves? What is our self-concept, right? When we're out and about in the world, do we see ourselves as a person who is enough, who is worthy of that relationship, or do we not? And then on the other side, the more tangible aspect, I guess you would say, is to surround yourself or be around or, engage with those who are interested in you. So if, let's say you were to approach somebody that you are interested in, if that person shows you interest back, beautiful. There's your indicator. And a lot of guys, for some reason, I don't know what it is with us. I don't know if we're so hard-headed sometimes or we don't really see things the way they are, but like a woman could close the door on you completely and you still feel like, oh, well, the door's unlocked, so maybe I should walk in. Like, no, bro, the door is closed. And a lot of women, and maybe it's the vice versa, but I only know from my perspective, like a lot of women are just too nice, right? They put on the niceness too much and they'll let you, open that door and then have to tell you they're not interested and then go to further and further extents. But we have to start catching from the beginning. If somebody's not interested, let them go. And don't do it from a place of malice or trying to prove something to them. Really, just let it go. Like, I remember I was 17, 18 years old, maybe 19. And, I found myself approaching chick I was interested in. And I would just feel an inkling of like, they were kind of into me. They'll only really give me the number because it kind of, like they felt bad if they didn't. And immediately in that space, I said, you know what, like it's all good. Have a great rest of your day and never even approach again. And I remember one time this happened at the gym. I probably was maybe 19, 20 at this time, maybe 19, 20. The years just blending at this point, right? And I remember approaching this young lady. Well, we were both young, so we were about the same age. And I asked her, I said, I thought you were cute. I saw you from over there. Whoop, whoop. Can I get your number? And she looked at me and she froze up a little bit. And she looked at me and I could tell she's kind of shy. but I could immediately tell it's like, okay, this is a disinterest, right? For whatever reason. And I said, you know what? It's okay. Have a great rest of your workout. And I went about my business. Completely forgot about this girl. For the rest of that session, I saw her tracking my steps all of a sudden, right? Following me around. And even the next time I saw her in the gym at that time, she was like looking at me. I'll catch her like looking and then looking away, looking at me, like, catch her in the same spots. And it's like now she was trying to get that attention. And I think the attraction came from, oh, he's not desperate. But for me, like, if you're not into me in that moment, like, I'm gone, right? I might be extreme, but that's just the way that I am. But I know what's going to be most beneficial for all of us is living from a state of when somebody sees you for who you are and values you for who you are. And trust me, there are people who are going to value you for who you are. They might not be the ones who are around you right now. Maybe you surrounded yourself with people you have to prove yourself to. But once you start making that decision to live your life in alignment with who you truly are, and you start to surround yourself with individuals who see who you are. Like I use this analogy of if you are a fisherman and you live in the desert, you may feel that you have zero value, no value at all. But the moment that you move close to a lake or an ocean or a river or any body of water, you now become extremely valuable within that space. And so we have to place ourselves in spaces where we are valued. Point blank, period. And that's how you genuinely resolve this within yourself. There's no other way that you can do it. You cannot build yourself up into this thing or into this person and expect that one day you're finally going to be enough for this person, because you won't. If you weren't enough now, then you're not going to be enough then. If who you are as you are is not enough now, then again, they will only be attracted to what you display when you bring that other version, right, into reality or into existence, the one with more money and more outer success and, more gains or whatever else it may be. Now, I'm not saying do not aspire towards, the highest version of yourself. I believe that that is a core part of this life for us to continuously become more and more of who we truly are meant to be, to live from that place of true personal power. Shameless plug, by the way, I just published my very first book, Doing Me Guilt-Free, Breaking Free from People Pleasing and Unleashing Your True Personal Power. That right there is on the market. I'll make sure it's in the description below. But yeah, it's time for us to walk in that power. We have to walk in that space. Continue to develop ourselves, but also remembering that it is not for us to become something other than what we are. It's for us to develop those strong suits, those part of ourselves that are, the truest and the most authentic to us. Like me, I'm a speaker, I'm a writer, I'm a coach. So I continue to hone in on those skill sets continuously, right? And if somebody does not value talking, like if somebody sees, my speaking as a distraction, or they're not interested in the subject matters and the esoteric and the philosophical things that I share, then they won't see value in me. And that's okay. I'm not your person and you're not mine. And that is perfectly okay. We can disagree and still be cool. Imagine that. So get yourself in a headspace where you truly realize that if they do not want you right here, right now, as you are, there is nothing you can do to create a true, genuine desire. You can create a fabricated one. You can create one that is based on appearances, but you want somebody who values you for who you are. And the only way you can start to attract that type of energy into your life is when you start to display that very same energy out into the world. There's no other way. All right? So I appreciate you guys for taking this time with me. Again, a whole nother shameless plug. Doing Me Guilt-Free. Now, this is the big old version right here. This is what I call the note-taker version, but I'm going to drop the link for the actual paperback version. So make sure to get your hands on one of these immediately. Also, I built out a full-blown course that is based on these principles. So something that can actually guide you throughout the entire process of this. It's an 8-week course. It's a week-by-week process thing, and it is evergreen, so you can pick it up at any point in time. But that I am going to link in the description below as well. Make sure to get your hands on the book or the course, or first the book and then get into the course. Appreciate you guys. Peace.